Hello everyone, I am Dr. Shinglestein, aka FuzzToothWorld, and I am excited because it has arrived and that is the Turtle Beach Stealth Pivot controller for Windows and Xbox, and we're going to be doing an unboxing and have a little look around the controller and a feel around of it. But it's important to note, as usual, all our videos are never sponsored by anyone. We don't endorse products. We just do real, honest reviews of what I think what it looks like. My honest opinions and things, and then everyone makes their own minds up. Without further ado, let's get this unboxed. So let's get one of my trusty tools. Let's cut along there, along there. And there, and then okay, that should do it. Yeah, I've been really excited to try this, and I got it in the sale here in the UK. It was £99.99, whatever that is in dollars, I don't know. And that was in the sale price, so let's go ahead and unbox this and have a good feel around and see what it looks like. Get that bit off because it's steel and wouldn't cut that little bit. There we go. But before we unbox it, we take a look at the boxing. Lovely looking boxing, lovely purple background, nice bit of controller. Says a bit stealth pivot here, says a bit there with a map or buttons, and the anti-drift thumbstick, which we'll get to, enhanced audio settings, 20+ hour battery life, which we'll also get to, and then designed for Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One and Windows 10 and 11, and on the back a bit more, and some of it's in a different language. So there's that. Let's lift it up. Ooh. So the first thing in the top, it says Stealth Pivot Controller PC/XP Global, and it's got a number on it. I'm guessing that is the serial number, and then that is the cable. And then we've got the USB wireless transmitter, which goes into a transmitter thing to transmit wirelessly. There it is, all wrapped up. It will go in my little transmitter thing that I've got with the Turtle Beach Stealth Ultra, which was also another great controller. And then in the box at the top you've got that. So quite nicely done. Inside you can see the black bear with a controller. So let's start pulling out. And then it says on it, raise your rank, and a bit of information about how to use it. So let's slide the bag, this little silica gel out, and out we come. Oh, okay. And then we've got the little Turtle Beach sticker, and a booklet. However, there's no hard case for it. With the Turtle Beach Stealth Ultra, you've got a little hard case with it, like a hard shell case that came with it. So it's a little bit disappointing there, but the difference is the price. So this is normal price £119.99 UK in UK money, and I sell an offer at £199.99, and Stealth Ultra is £179.99, and again in the sale at the moment in the East sale I think it's £119.99, something like that. So there is a difference in the price, and that might be why with the case, I don't know. But yeah, now You get that attached, and it tells you how to move the turn the thumbsticks up and down, which we'll go through in a moment. So let's take it off. Yeah, it feels a bit chunkier. Let's get the Stealth Ultra here, and let's just compare it for size. Doesn't look much bigger to me. If you look at that and measure it from size to size, it looks about the same. It doesn't look any wider like I thought it might. Okay. So there's a few slight differences. You've got the ABXY buttons here. And as you can see, they are mechanical. But on this one, not mechanical, like most Xbox button controls. There's a difference there. And then the thumbsticks are not mechanical. The D-pads are not mechanical like it is on the Stealth Ultra, as you can hear. So mechanical means it's more expensive. And then it's virtually the same layout. You've got your start and select buttons, you've got your X button, you've got this little dial here, which I'm not sure what that does yet, but I'll figure that in. You've got the share button, you've got this plus button. You press that when the controllers on, it'll bring up, you can go into the screen. Yes, it has. Yes, it does have a screen on it. It's just covered up here at the moment. I haven't taken this wrapping up, but it does have a small little screen on it, and you can then go into it and change some settings in there. Use the mappable buttons, which we'll get to again. There's a mappable button here, which is P3, and this one here, which is P4. And I have to say, that's in a much, much better position, because if you look at them here, on that's the P1, 2, 3 and 4, you put your hand behind it and you're actually on it, so you can easily, and I haven't put anything, mapped these buttons to anything, but you can map it to the LT, RT, A, B, X, Y, anything you want on the buttons, but it's easily, you can easily press them while it's behind. With this one, it's underneath your hand, so it feels, and so it's a lot better and it feels nice. And then obviously it says little sign there, stealth pivot there. These, you can see they do light up. Now when they light up, you can change it in the app on your Windows PC, the app on your phone, or better still, the app on the Xbox, and that is where you update the firmware to the controller. You do it on the Windows PC or an app on your Xbox, and it's better, which is the where is my controller? There, let's just go out a moment. Turtle Beach Control Center 2 app. That is much better. Yeah, and that's where you can change settings. You can map the buttons for the P3 and the P4. We will get to P1 and P2 in a moment because they're not on the back. A lot of people don't like this little grip on the sides. They are in there, but I actually think, for me personally, I think they're great. Same as the grip on the Turtle Beach Stealth Ultra. They're there and it feels really nice. And again, it's got the Turtle Beach sign on the sides of the Stealth Ultra, but it doesn't have the Turtle Beach signs on the side of the pivot. There's the Ultra with the Turtle Beach sign, and as you can see where it lights up on the Turtle Beach Stealth Ultra, it does the same on the Stealth Pivot, and you can change it to different colours, like one colour or like, but I quite like this little rainbow design where you see all different colours on it. And it slightly changes a little bit as it goes through. I quite like that. And then the top, let's compare. Oh yeah, okay. The top of the Stealth pivot is mechanical. The LT and the LB are not mechanical, but the RB and the LB are. And you can see it's like a little textury design and with silvery grey. That's a Stealth Ultra. The Stealth pivot is black, and it's also got that same texture to it, but as you can hear, not mechanical. And mechanical buttons are more expensive in a controller. That's why the Stealth Ultra is a lot more money. But yeah, you would, as I say, you would press that plus button. You would go in, change what you want on the screen. You can connect it to your Bluetooth for your phone and get like little bits of messages pop up like notifications. And when you're done, you press the plus button to come out and the controller's there. And as you can see, these things here, and it does say anti-drift. They are, and there. And what that is a lot of people don't know what stick drift means. And what stick drift is, you leave your controller just like that, not touch, and if you've got stick drift on your left thumbstick, the screen won't start moving towards turning to the right of the game or whatever you're using. If you've got stick drift in the right control thumbstick, it moves to the left. These have Hall effect thumbsticks. It means there's like little springs and things inside, and you move it and it springs back into place, preventing you from having stick drift. Same as this, but again, this is, yeah, this has got it also in it. You can see anti-drift, and that's what you want. You want the Hall effect if you can get it, because once you get the stick drift, you need a new controller. This prevents that. Now so you've got these couple of switches here. See, it's locked, which means you can push the RT and the LT all the way down. If you move it over to the small one, if you watch, it hardly goes down. It only goes like halfway, which is great for shooter games and things like that, because you haven't got to put it all the way down. You haven't got to put it all the way. For racing games, just a little bit, and it does it. Now we'll do about the pivot, because this is the best bit about the control. It's got two lock bits there. If you move it so they're unlocked, that's a bit, oh good, it's a bit hard. And you can see it's on the swivel bit. What now happens is, you've got the thumbsticks are up, so you have to close them down. So you just twist one there to the right clockwise and twist the other one anti-clockwise, and they drop down, and then you can just pivot around, and you've got this layout, a completely different layout. You've got another D-pad, an LSB and an RSB, not sure what they would be for, but you probably program them. Then you've got an A. Okay, let's lock them in place so I don't keep moving them. You've got an A, B, X, Y button. Again, they're not mechanical. And there's your P1 and P2 buttons. This layout is great for fighting games like Mortal Kombat, I think. But yeah, but it's pretty good. That's one layout. Now this is what also I like. If you flip that, and then so that only pivots one way, as you can see. Don't go the other way, it goes that way. So let's lock that. I just want to test that with the other one. Yeah, you can't pivot it that, or you can pivot it that way, but you can't pivot it the other way. So it only pivots one way round. So let's lock that back in place. That again is a second style layout. You can have the traditional way and that. And again, a lot of people might say, yeah, that's good for fighting games because you haven't got to use the thumbstick. You can still use the D-pad. I prefer the D-pad down there. But I also think it's great for driving games because you've still got your D-pad. Let's just unhook that. Yeah, it's actually easier than I thought. You turn it anti-clockwise and then you use the thumbstick. You turn it clockwise, so you turn it up one clockwise to use the thumbstick, and then you can use it, but you can't pivot it. And then you turn it anti-clockwise and it drops down, and it's quite easy. As you can hear the noise, how easy that is. I thought that would be much tougher to do. But yeah, but as I say, this layout is also good for driving games, because you still got your D-pad, not D-pad, you still got your left thumbstick, but you can program the P1 and the P2 buttons. You can have P1 as the LT, the left trigger, and you can have P2 as the RT, the R trigger buttons. So you can press and hold P2 down for accelerate, and you can press and, if you accelerate, if you need to brake, you press P1 and hold that down and just turn with the thumbstick. But let me undo that. So yeah, you can turn with the thumbstick, so, and just do that, like, so you're going right, you hold it right and you hold P1, P2, and that's the RT button, that's the accelerator. And if you're braking, or to turn, and you need to turn left, you hold it and you hold the brake button. So, and I think that's easy, personally, I think that's easier than holding the R1 and the R2 button down. I think that'd be a great idea. Really good for racing games. But as I say, that's the second layout. So let's do all 4 layouts now. But everyone has a preference with these. Just do it how you want to do it. So that's the original layout, so that's one layout. You pivot around, and that's the second layout. Then you can also have it this way as I show, which is the third layout, or you can pivot it that way and then have it like that as a fourth layout. So it's got 4 different type of layouts in the controller. So it's really, really good. There's the USB-C cable there, headphone jack, but the strange thing is it doesn't come with that little charger thing that you put the adapter in, as I say. Like this, you can see the 3 prongs there, you put it on and it recharges. So I'm guessing you only recharge this with the cable. And then a downside of it is it's wireless on the Windows PC, but it's wired only on the Xbox. So that's the downside to it. But for me personally, I don't see it being a problem if you use it wired. And the reason for that is this is wireless, and it comes with a wire that's plugged into the charging port and the stand, and with the USB transmitter also goes in as well. And then you plug that to your USB port of your Xbox, and it will charge when your Xbox is off and so on. But and they say with the Stealth Pro you can get up to 30 hours of gaming, but in order to get 30 hours of gaming, you've got to turn these off. The screen, as you can see, is higher. You've got to dim that screen. Yeah, there's certain settings you've got to do to get it. The way I've got it, I get about 3, maybe 4 hours of gaming out of it. And that doesn't bother me, because I'm not usually on it for 3 or 4 hours at a time anyway. And I always have a normal Xbox controller that I've done through the Microsoft Personalised Design Lab. So I've always got that one I can use with rechargeable batteries that you just plug in the back, and I've got a battery charger for them. But with this, they say 20 hours of gaming if it's wireless, and it's only wireless, as I say, on the PC, Windows PC. But with it being wireless on a Windows PC, again, you've got to have the settings changed. You'd have to have these lights off, that screen needs to be dimmed or even turned up. You have to change certain settings on it to get it, else you get about 3 or 4 hours. But so being wired doesn't bother me, and having it wired on the Xbox is a great idea, because you never run out of battery. you can use it for as long as you want and it will stay charged. So that's a good thing about it. A bad thing is you're restricted because too far away, but this cable is a hell of a long cable. I would say a good 10 feet at least. And obviously you've got the USB cable for the plug in the Xbox, and the USB-C that plugs into the controller, just simply like that. Now I can't get it off. There we go, that's quite a way down. So yeah, overall, so you can see it is a very, very well built controller. Some people say it's chunky, but I don't think it is. It's no chunkier than the Stealth Ultra. If you lay it side by side, as you can see, it's about the same. And if I do it this way, you can see it's about the same size. It's not chunkier or wider at all. But okay, so very, very well made controller, very pleased. I will use the screen, but if we compare the screen size, look at that compared to that. It's a smaller screen size you get. Again, that doesn't bother me. And another difference is with this, you can have 10 different profiles on the Stealth Ultra. Well, I've got one profile one there, and you can have different settings for each profile. These lights can be changed to different ones for each profile, and this I think has 5 profiles. So, and again, I say the differences are they're not mechanical, and it would have been great to have had the mechanical buttons and the mechanical thumbsticks, and the RB and LB being mechanical, or the D-pad being mechanical. But I understand why they haven't done it, because of the pivot. They're probably guessing they couldn't do it with the pivot. But if you're looking for a very unique controller, this is it. The Turtle Beach Stealth Pivot is it. Because as we all know, Turtle Beach, they do headsets and things like that for your Xbox and PlayStations and things like that. And they're not, you can get expensive ones, but you can get cheaper ones, the ones that are inexpensive. And I have a purple one set that I paid £30 for, because I had a set of Astro, I think they were A50s, and they were only designed for the Xbox One. And they cost me £250 in UK money, and they were the best headset I've ever bought. But they wasn't compatible, unfortunately, with the Xbox Series X and S. And I have an Xbox Series X. So, and it would mean buying another set of Astros, and I weren't going to pay another £250. So I bought a set of Turtle Beach ones, which are light purple. See if I can grab them, yep, here they are. And yeah, it's got the 3.5mm jack. They are compatible with both the Xbox and the PlayStation. You can see with the Astros, this was all metal and things, and this was all metal, and these are plastic. But for £29.99, they're a brilliant set of headphones. And it's also important when you get gaming headphones like this, these pads that your ears go onto, they've got to be comfortable. Some of them I've worn and things, are extremely uncomfortable for your head. They hurt your ears, they're uncomfortable. The Astros weren't. The Astros were comfortable. And the Astros, you could pull them off, buy new sets, put them on. And I also had a plate here you could just take off, buy different plates and stick them on. So the Astros were brilliant. But I couldn't justify another £250 just because a different Xbox. I had those Astros since the day I got the Xbox One in 2013. That came out, the Astros came out on the same day, and I got them both. So I had them for 7 years. Or 8 years, because I spent a year with them not being used. So in the end I sold them to someone that had an Xbox One. I got a good price for them. But so I went and bought these, and these are very, very comfortable on your ears, and that's what you want in a headset. And I think that they are a brilliant headset, perfect for the Xbox and the PlayStation, which is even better. Only the one headset, and great fit it, really pleased with them. So, and that's Turtle Beach, and I was a bit sceptical with the Turtle Beach Stealth Ultra. You know, I don't listen to reviews. You're always going to get a product out there that people are not going to like. Give it a 1 star, or I'll give it 0 stars if I could. It's terrible. You always get something that someone they just don't like it. Just don't like a certain product, but doesn't mean you don't. But a lot of people are saying the Stealth Ultra, it just disconnects. It stops working. It's terrible. I've never had that issue. It's never disconnected. It works perfectly. And again, some people say, oh yes, but to get the 30 hours of gaming that they claim, you have to turn certain settings off and change it. So what? The beautiful thing about that controller is Turtle Beach Stealth Ultra is it's got so many settings in the screen or on the Turtle Beach Control Center 2 app that you can get it for the laptop, you can get it for your Windows PC and have full access and do everything, update it and everything. You can get it for your phone, like your iPhones, your Samsung phones. So for Android or the App Store, you know, the i stuff for the iPhones, but the iOS. But you can't update it on your phone. But if you download it, it is on your Xbox. You've got Turtle Beach Control Center and Turtle Beach Control Center 2. Don't get the Control Center, you get the Control Center 2, and you can change all the settings on this through it. You can update it. Absolutely fine. It's exactly the same as on your Windows PC. You just do it on the Xbox. And it's the same with the Stealth Pivot. You know, you go on there, you change the settings how you want them, update the firmware of the controller, everything. But again, if you don't want it connected to your phone, don't turn the Bluetooth on, so the pairing mode on the Stealth Pivot or the Stealth Ultra, and then don't go to your Bluetooth settings and connect it. Personally, I don't mind it being connected. I quite like the idea, but you only get a few words of the message that's displayed on the screen. You don't get the full message, which is fine. But yeah, but overall, I think the Turtle Beach ones are well made. So I was really pleased about the Stealth Ultra. I wouldn't have paid £179.99 for it. I paid £119.99 in the sale. And then you've got the Stealth Pivot, a little bit cheaper in price, £119.99, but in an Easter sale at the moment it's £99.99. Like the Turtle Beach Stealth Ultra, I think it's either £119.99, £120, something like that. So it is in the sale. Now, a lot of people will say that's different to the Xbox Elite controllers, and it's very different. You know, but they'll say, but you just got mappable buttons on the Xbox Elite controllers, this and that, and that's true, it does. And I've used the Xbox Elite controllers. I used one with a friend, and I just didn't like it. But again, that's just me. Other people think they're great. I much prefer this. This is like an Elite controller. So is this. The Stealth Pivot is like an Elite controller as well. Absolutely. I think it's absolutely brilliant again. But a lot of people say, oh yes, it's terrible, it disconnects and everything. But I don't think it will, because if you use it wired on your Xbox, how's it going to disconnect? It's connected to your Xbox. I don't see how that can happen, but it's probably possible. But yeah, but as I say, it feels fantastic in the hand. It doesn't feel any chunkier than the Stealth Ultra. It's about the same, but the Stealth Pivot has to be chunky, a bit chunky in size, because it has to have it has to have space for this to pivot round on so. But yeah, I think it's a fantastic controller. It's the world's first pivoting controller. But anyway guys, that was the unboxing and the general look over of the Turtle Beach Stealth Pivot controller. Let me know what you think in the comments and about the controller, and if you have any questions I will respond. So I will respond to every comment you have. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, because it does mean a lot, especially with me being disabled. And we will see you in the next video. Bye.